Hey guys, hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I am glad you're here. And if you feel so inclined and if you get the chance, please hit the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon so you'll be notified when I release new videos and go live. Today I wanted to talk about the Kunwu Tao, and in specific, two of my favorite knives that are what I would consider medium to premium range is the Kunwu Big Tao and the Kunwu X-Tao. And we'll talk about their similarities and their differences, but I think the easiest way to go about it is to look at them one at a time, how they were introduced into the market. And the first one that I became aware of was the Kunwu Big Tao. The Big Tao is a pretty neutral looking knife with a titanium handle, nice orange peel on that handle to give it a little texture. I don't know if my shoddy lighting's picking that up or not, but it's got a real tall flat ground blade, 3.5 inches I think. We'll do some size comparisons and measure it, but M390 steel and frame lock. Fantastic action. I'm horizontal again, but this has multiple deployments. Real nice front flipper, real nice low profile flipper, and then just really smooth action. No but blade play, no up and down, no side to side. Just a really fine knife. And if you compare it to my hand, which is a medium large size hand, I can get a full 4-finger grip with room to spare on this handle. It does have a little bit of a cutout to kind of dictate where my hand goes, but it's not uncomfortable at all in my particular hand. And then I can also choke up to where this trigger is for the flipper tab to get more access to that blade. So whether I'm doing utility cuts, whether I'm doing push cuts, whether I'm doing pull cuts, this knife is simple enough and neutral enough to really be able to pull off any of those EDC tasks, and then also be very well built, very economical for what they sell it for. I want to say when I picked up this knife, it was right around $199 in M390 and titanium, again with that orange peel finish. Real slight billboarding. It says Tao there on the blade. It says M390. Nice satin grind. Jimping here on the top that comes in really handy. Whether I'm front flipping the knife or whether I'm parking my finger there in one of my two positions. One thing you'll notice here is the plunge grind comes down about halfway into that sharpening choil. So it could of course be better, but it is ample, and the stop pin does not seem to get in the way if you wanted to cut a little bit more in. But I think, like I said, it's an ample sharpening choil and just a good sized knife. Then Kunwu came out with the X-Tao, which was basically taking the same platform of the Big Tao and putting in their version of the axis lock, which is a fantastic version of the axis lock. Get this out of the way for just a second. And instead of doing thumb posts or thumb studs, they did these little triangular serrated, not serrated, but kind of gradiated, what I'd call just finger bars. I mean, they're great for thumb studs. My thumb rests right naturally against the cutout in the scale and the thumb stud or thumb bar, whatever we want to determine we're going to call it. The reverse flick is very doable. The way that the thumb bar is designed, it doesn't really hit your reverse finger in the same area that it does. It almost needs to be reversed to get the same type of purchase you do on the front flipper or on the front thumb stud or thumb bar than you do on the back thumb bar. But the action is fantastic. I mean, this knife, in terms of an axis style lock, drops like a charm. It has the same orange peel finish on the titanium, the same fit and finish. It is a little different blade steel. It is ELMAX, but if you look at the actual size of these two knives, they are just about identical. One thing that I regret, and I'm sure that there's a good reason that they didn't do it when they made the X-Tao. It probably has something to do with the bar lock that I'm not aware of, but I can understand why you wouldn't do a front flipper because you've got thumb studs, but I do wish they left this low profile flipper that they've got on the original Kunwu, because it is so satisfying to deploy it that way. Just a great knife though. And same with the X-Tao. The X-Tao is a little bit heavier because I'm sure those axis springs and that locking system takes up a little bit more room. But let's do a couple of quick size comparisons. And I guess we can agree that the Kunwu Tao, Big Tao, well actually the Big Tao might be just a tiny bit larger. But the knives that we're going to compare it to, we'll get a good idea. So let's start with the Cold Steel 4MAX. Cold Steel 4MAX is going to be much bigger than the Taos. And the Civivi Baby Banter is going to be much smaller than the Kunwu Taos. So let's go for a couple of more knives that we all might be familiar with, and then we'll break out our Ben Peterson's NAFCO ruler, and we'll get down to business. Benchmade bug out. A little bit smaller than the Taos. Spyderco Paramilitary 2. For me, you guys, you know, horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm going to call the Paramilitary 2 about the same size knife, even though the blades or the blade ratios are a little bit different. They're right in there in the same size range. So if we're going to look at both of these knives, and we're going to take our Ben Peterson's NAFCO ruler that I don't read worth a darn, I'm looking at right over 3.5 inch blade, right over 3.5 inch blade. So the blades seem identical. Maybe it's just the camera view. Right over 4.5 inch handle. Ooh, right at 4.5 inch handle. Those are the same. So yeah, these knives are pretty much identical in size, with the handle coming in at right around 4.5 inches and a blade coming in at right around 3.5 inches. Overall knife, let's do math. Is that an 8-inch knife? So it is a full-size knife. It's a knife that brings me a lot of joy. I've had opportunities to get rid of these knives. They're not knives that I anticipate having leave my collection. As a matter of fact, the most recent Kunwu that came out, that is the Van X, if I'm not mistaken, sheep's foot version of the Tao, is really on my radar high. I'm just trying to be more responsible and not pick up knives that I'm just not absolutely dying for. And with Blade Show coming up in just a few months, guys, gals, can't wait to see you all. I think I should probably be very selective in my purchases. But I appreciate y'all stopping by. Anytime you come by and watch one of my videos, it helps me. It helps the algorithm. If you subscribe to the channel, it helps. If you like the video or dislike the video, if something offended you, that helps. If you comment, it's great. But most importantly, just if you guys enjoy what you're getting here at Javon's Knife Flex. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you being here. I love all of you. I ask that you do look out for the guy or gal to your left. You do look out for the guy or gal to your right. You look out for one another. You know that we're going to have things that we love, that we all get stoked and jazzed about together. And then there are going to be things that try to drive us apart. Just remember that we're all just humans trying to find our way, or campers on the hike, and move forward with love in your heart. Choose debate before hate. I love you all. Peace.